We're Hidden Mothers and you're watching rockflesh.com. Right then, rockflesh.com, we're back again. It's me back interviewing first of the year, in fact, first of 2025, and I'm with the amazing Hidden Mothers.
Hi. Hello.
How you guys doing?
Yeah,
decent. So, thank you.
Decent.
All good? All good?
Very good.
I hear you had a smelly trip from Newcastle. A smelly trip. Oh, what a great way to start. Hey, hard-hitting question.
Absolutely. I want everyone to be like, Hidden Mothers, that's that band that smells like shit, right?
Hey, blood, sweat and tears.
Yeah.
That's what it's a lot of sweat. A lot of sweat.
We played in Newcastle last night and then got back to our accommodation to find no hot water, no heating, no nothing, so none of us were able to shower or warm ourselves or have a cup of tea.
And no kettle, so we couldn't even warm up the water to wash each other.
Oh
God, imagine. That might have been actually quite hideous. Like showering each other with a kettle.
Or very erotic.
Yeah, I think
exactly. And we have got the casting couch vibe today, so you know.
And it was pretty grim in the van on the way over here. Like 8 stinky lads just like.
The pheromones.
Yes.
The pheromones.
Yes.
It was like you could set a hound afterwards if you put them in the van first.
But now we're clean, we're washed, and we're here.
So
we're in Liverpool.
It's not normal that we could hunt you down with a dog then. No. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
We're hidden.
We are.
Okay,
we
good
are
stuff.
hidden.
Good stuff. You guys, how would you describe your sound in just a couple of words? And you can hyphenate them.
I've always said, and I don't know how everyone else feels about this, I class it as a metallic emo band.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Metallic emo?
Yeah.
Metallic emo?
Blackened post-hardcore.
Yeah.
Screamo,
I think there's just a screamo. Like, I think that like we exist on the fringes of a few different genres, but like. Yeah,
We're not
metallic.
quite a metal band, we're not quite a
An
post-hardcore
emo
band,
band,
not quite an emo band, not quite a post-rock band.
Yeah, we do a bit of
go
everything,
with that.
and we like to think it mostly works.
Yeah, exactly. So like sort of fans of Alcest, kind of Death Heaven, Thrice especially.
Oathbreaker, Envy, like anything that's kind of emotive and high energy and like textural, I think, and Cher, obviously. Everybody, Cher.
Obviously.
We love Cher, obviously.
I mean, you do use a lot of vocoder.
Funny story. I
We
mean,
do actually have a funny story about Cody,
the second song that we're going to play today, I think, is on the album Still Sickness, and its first
iteration.
First iteration, it did have a vocoder. I will bring that vocoder back. I will bring the vocoder back.
Is that a threat?
Imagine us in the practice room, it is him with a keyboard, me singing, and me going, I don't fucking like this. It's not very good. We are not releasing this. He's saying, I love this.
Like,
we will bring it back.
It was like blackened Daft Punk.
Hey, well, now you just described his sleep tone.
Well,
I mean,
Maybe we're onto something. Maybe I could be a millionaire in a mask.
and that is the name of your sex tape. Millionaire in a mask. Totally. So actually, let's talk about kind of your album, your debut album. Erosion, Avulsion. Easy for you to say, of course, as a band. So that came out in November last year. Quite a long time in the making.
Yes, 4 years.
Best part of 4 years,
Because you were playing live, doing other things, COVID
as well, and we kind of like a number of ththings. We had a lineup change as well. So
we started writing new songs, like, because obviously we released the EP in 2020.
2019?
We released it in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Wrote a couple of new songs that we started playing live in 2021, and we thought like, this is the start of whatever we're doing next. But then those 2 songs were the only 2 new songs for a good 18 months, 2 years. And then gradually we got there and eventually got into a position where we could record and release an album. But we definitely did lose track of our momentum a little bit in terms of writing for a while, because we're just doing loads of shows and it just kind of got away from us.
Name out as well,
but we had a lot of fun.
I mean,
we played some really cool shows in that period.
Really.
But it's nice to now be like playing songs, because we've been playing the album songs for at least a year before the album came out, so it's nice that people now know them.
This is like our first couple of shows since the album's come out, and in Newcastle there were people singing the words.
Yeah, there was a bloke singing along as well. There was a couple of blokes singing along.
That's never happened.
I was going to say that's got to be. That's one of the moments.
Absolutely.
It's nice seeing people getting involved.
It's quite surreal though, isn't it? Like, oh, that's my song he's singing. Like, it's very strange.
We often say that kind of thing where you're writing songs, they mean a lot to you, kind of personally, and then you unleash them onto the world, as it were, and actually see the crowd kind of.
Because obviously I write the lyrics, don't I? So it's just weird. Sometimes it's like it's bizarre as well, because like obviously some of the songs are like quite dark and quite melancholic. And it's weird. Sometimes it's just a bizarre experience when you play such a big show. You got loads of people nodding their heads, and you're like, "This is a really, really sad song." And everyone's really enjoying themselves.
Stop enjoying it.
People are having such a good time listening to my problems.
You're getting it wrong.
I mean that in a nice way. It is nice. It's just great to hear people engage with something that means something to you, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We had our first, somebody covered a song for the first time. So Hey is the last song on the album.
I would like to point out though that we did request that, because that's a friend of ours.
Did we?
If anyone wants to cover our song without us requesting it, that would be much cooler.
That's good.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
It's baby steps.
But it's beautiful. But her singing your words, and it was
That you said it like it was made you realise that it was actually a really good
It's
song.
just fucking bizarre as well, because you're hearing somebody, it's like I was hearing somebody else sing it, and the way they pronounced all the words was so different to me, and that's just such a bizarre feeling.
Nikki's very posh as well, so it was very different.
What are you trying to say?
You know exactly what I'm trying to say.
But it must be. I mean, it is one of those things that when you start seeing people engage and interact with your lyrics, with your music, full stop. Does it take on almost like a different feeling to that which you've felt whilst you're writing it, whilst you're rehearsing it, recording it?
I think especially like now that we've been playing these songs for a long time, we know them like the back of our hands, and like when we're playing the songs live, we're really, really dialed in, so we're not overthinking it in maybe the way that we were when we were first playing those songs. So now we can just enjoy the fact that we're doing it and people are vibing and like everything just feels good. And
you almost get kind of like desensitized to the meaning of the songs a little bit, but not in a bad way. It's just because we are focused on trying to
they take on a new
play them well. Like I don't want to be just crying while I'm playing. Like, oh, this song's so meaningful. I want to hit the notes, and
I prefer you singing and playing guitar as well as crying. I want to. That's me personally.
I want to sing
well.
We'll do it for you.
You write a song, and obviously, like it's yours. But then you release it, and everyone else who hears it might interpret it completely differently, and it kind of stops being yours in a way. Like,
it's also like obviously with I wrote all the lyrics on the record, but it's also like not mine within this band. It's like it's interesting sometimes, like when I hear like Ariel say, "Oh, that song's about this, isn't it?" And they're like, "No, but that's like a really interesting kind of interpretation of what it could be about."
Everybody paints their own meaning onto songs all the time. Like,
exactly. Have you ever misheard lyrics?
Not one of his, though, because he pronounces everything very well.
You did.
Oh no, in fact, oh yeah.
So I originally wrote the lyrics for Define.
Oh yeah.
The lyric, which is now on the record, I scream, scratch out the eyes. It used to be 4 snails in your eyes.
Wait, 4 snails?
And he said, what, as in like 4 snails? And I was like, I thought that was a really profound, important lyric. I thought it sounded really impactful, but no, it's just
ruined.
There was also a bit in Still Sickness where you say like, I spit the soil out on my sheets, and then later on in the song, there was a bit about having soil in your mouth. I was like, Luke, you already spat the soil out. Why is there soil in your mouth? Stop eating soil.
Continuity error.
So it literally was. We were literally in the studio, and Joe, who recorded this, was like, he literally said it like, that's a continuity. You've already spat the soil out, now it's back in your mouth. Like, just stop eating soil, man. It's like, guys, it's a metaphor.
It may well be a metaphor.
Nobody questioned William Blake's metaphors. You know, when it's my metaphors, everyone chimes in. Do you know what I mean?
He's using soil to try and find 4 snails.
On his one.
I can see Ronnie's gone horribly wrong.
I mean, now I've said that, I've realised it isn't as good as the lyric it is now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Hey, well, you know,
it's
that's
a
not what
process.
it's about.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's a process. It's a process. Talking about processes, obviously you write the lyrics, but how do you guys go about creating a new song?
Pretty much everything is done in the studio there and then. So like you'll have a riff.
Studio, you mean, is in the rehearsal room?
Yeah.
We don't just turn up
In the
to
studio, we
record an
just
album,
go
like,
record.
whoa, I know
Yeah.
what's gonna
That
happen.
album we released, we did that on the day.
Yeah, easy. So yeah, you'll bring like a guitar part, and then I'll ruin it. So we always like kind of describe
teamwork.
ourselves like.
Do you know what, we say this a lot, and I
know if this is true, is it?
I have one issue with that, in the sense that quite often most of our songs, and I don't mean this to say that we're unprepared, but it's just the way that we've often written songs. It's not necessarily that I bring a riff; it's that I will literally just play something.
That's that's
and then
like,
because I'm always just fiddling. It's not like I've written something and I write it, and then.
It would
but
just be
that's-
very organic. Yeah.
That's
It always
one
starts
way.
with a very small idea, usually.
I mean, obviously, some of the latter songs that we wrote, which I guess as with the band started to progress in the way we were writing, maybe more centered around clean vocals. That was more me saying, I've got this acoustic song I've written, I want to kind of turn it into our song.
I think when you wrote Haze, obviously you wrote the first half of it, the quiet half, and I'm sure you didn't imagine that it would end up being, like the latter half of it would end up being what it is when you were writing that.
No, I think you're thinking Violet Sun. So Violet Sun I wrote as an acoustic song.
Oh, yeah.
Haze is actually, strangely, considering how much it's like a folk song basically.
Yeah.
I wrote that with everyone in the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
Because we originally had it. Well, it didn't have a vocoder, but it was like very different. it was a heavy song from the beginning. And I was like belting the
We
original
wrote the
first
heavy
bit.
bit first, yeah.
And then we had it like that.
as
Sorry.
you can see, this is how we write our songs.
I was going to say,
So
demonstrates
good.
the organic
Yeah.
of it.
Basically, we wing it, and so far it seems to be
It
working.
seems to be working.
Haze is an interesting one because it was like a heavy song, and then I remember I kept coming back and being like, I don't like this, I really don't like this. And you guys are always, because I am quite negative when writing music, and you guys are always like, no, it's fine, we'll just stick with it, I was like, no, I really don't like this. And then eventually I just came in with the finger picky bit, and you guys went, okay,
Actually, that is loads better. Yeah.
With vocals,
Yeah.
how do you decide who's going to take necessarily a vocal line?
I think it's too soon to answer that question, almost. In the sense that, because like
We wrote a lot of the album when we still had a standalone screaming vocalist. So obviously when he left, it sort of, well, I will do the parts that he was going to do. Whereas going forward, we don't exactly know what that relationship will look like. But, you know, I mean, I'm really enjoying doing vocals. I'm definitely at a place where I'm feeling a lot more confident with it now. So, you know, if Luke's writing stuff that he thinks suits my voice, then we'll use me. And, you know, anything that he thinks will be better suited to him will be him. And, you know, we'll figure it out as we go along.
And then
Obviously-
I'll ruin it.
And then you'll ruin it, yeah.
Well, obviously, the dynamic we've got is obviously I write, obviously all the clean stuff's me, and then you do most of the screaming stuff, I do some of the screaming stuff.
You've
but
got
we,
a higher
we have
range
such a
of-
different scream that it kind of like sometimes
Gorgeous,
like Death Curl's mostly me because it needed like a really screechy high scream like me, but then Defang needed like a big loud bastard like me.
That's a compliment.
There's a few of us in the UK music scene at the minute. There's me, there's Liam from Svalbard, and Dan from Conjurer, the big loud bastards of the...
The scene.
don't really need a microphone. It's just there,
Now, Luke, your vocals
Yeah.
are so like
Oh yeah.
Dustin from.
I was worried what we were gonna say that.
so like. No, so like Dustin from Thrice. Is that just the way you sing, or is he like almost like a role model?
Well, I love Thrice. Thrice is probably my favourite band. But it's not a conscious thing. It's not like I set out to say I want to sound like Dustin Kendrick. I mean, I do sometimes, and sometimes I don't. I probably have a higher voice than Dustin Kendrick because I do a lot more falsetto-y stuff.
yeah.
But
When you do that low gravelly thing though, like I can see
I
the
think it's
crowd.
that soulful
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah, I guess.
Really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think I don't know. I almost like didn't notice until people started saying it, and then it's a nice compliment because I love rice. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's just because it's just the way you make the way my voice when it going. I'm trying to sound emotional and put something into it. It just comes out like that. I guess.
Excellent. Well, band are starting up. But I must ask the question. You guys are from Sheffield.
Yes.
So, Sheffield Steel, if the band Hidden Mothers was a piece of cutlery, what piece of cutlery would you be and why?
It's a spork. We're a spork. We're a bit of everything, aren't we? Yeah.
But with a knife on the other end.
Yeah.
Can I point out that I love my adopted home of Sheffield, but I'm a Stoke-on-Trent through and through, so I'm going to be a vase.
Exactly.
So I'm not being.
Whichwood for the win.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
going to be a shoe.
You're a shoe. What do they have in Leicester?
Chris, I'm from Loughborough, so it's socks. So my socks.
Socks, crisps. Socks filled with crisps
Yeah, exactly.
in a vase with a spork.
Yeah. Eating
You
with a
heard
spork.
it. Merch. You know, that's what we're talking about. So, thank you guys for having a chat with us. It's been absolutely awesome. You guys played 2,000 Trees, aren't you, this year?
Oh yeah.
Other stuff on the horizon for this year?
Everything that we've got booked has been announced, except one thing that'll be announced next month. When's this going out?
Who knows?
Tomorrow. So we've got a weekender with Mastiff next month.
Oh, cool.
We've got Strange Forms and Noise Fest in April. We're going to Glasgow in May, and we're doing Uprising in Leicester in May, and then 2,000 Trees. So yeah, we've got a busy couple of months ahead.
Yes. So, check out the album. Catch these guys live. They are absolutely superb. Thank you once again, Hidden Mothers, and we'll see you all soon.
Thank you. Yeah.